Recording in progress.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Wow, I wasn't used to. Good evening. Yeah, wow. I have to, let me put my glasses on to see who said that. Oh, okay. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is City Council meeting, March 17th, 2026. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Councilmember Roach, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
And thank you for the lapel pins, by the way. Yeah, I'm wearing my lapel pins, so I appreciate that. I'd like to next call upon Councilmember Andrews. Please, if you can give us or deliver the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand if you're able to.
Of course.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, if you can please take roll.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Andrews.
Present.
Councilmember Bonilla Jr.
Present.
Councilmember Goldstein.
Present.
Councilmember Roach.
Present.
Councilmember Sire.
Present.
Councilmember Cermeño. Mayor Salinas.
Present. Thank you. Next is our closed session announcement. Mr. City Attorney, if you can please deliver closed session announcement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Council did convene at 5:30 to consider two items in closed session. One dealt with pending litigation, the Ghali lawsuit, as to which the Council took no reportable action. Council also discussed bargaining with all labor groups, also took no reportable action. There was one property transaction matter that the Council discussed, gave direction to staff, but there's no reportable action. Thank you. The closed session adjourned at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Our next item is a recognition for Women's History Month. Excuse me. Proclamation for Women's History Month. And I have a proclamation, and the proclamation, I'm not sure, we're going to hand the proclamation to three groups. Supervisor Elisa Marquez, I don't know if there's a rep, I don't think there's a rep from her here yet. But we also have Women in Leadership from Cal State East Bay. No? Okay. But we do have the Hayward Public Library. Okay, so we got the Hayward Public Library here. Director Gianti Adelman is here. And then, let me see, let me make sure. League of Women Voters, right? There you go. We have the League of Women Voters here. Why don't you hold that one? And then this one is from BWAPA. Where's BWAPA? BWAPA right here. Good. And also, we are going to be, in addition to this, we are going to be awarding a commendation posthumously to acknowledging Ms. Abbott, one of the founders of BWAPA, and BWAPA has been a pretty, forceful organization here in the East Bay when it comes to advocating for neighborhood issues and community issues. So, Ms. Abbott, I'm sure, I think there's a family member here. So, but yeah, absolutely, her daughter, right? Is the daughter? Yeah. So, so we will, when I come down, we'll offer you the commendation. Okay. Actually, let me. Yes, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Just from BWAPA is Raquel Johnson, and then from League of Women Voters, Miriam Hanna, right, Miriam, and then Grace Carter, President. And then from the city of Hayward, of course, is Janty Adelman and then That's right. So Cal State East Bay and Elisa and Supervisor Marquez are not here. Okay. So what I'd like to do is, this is the proclamation for Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month begins in 1987, evolving from a single day to a week, and eventually to a full month of observance and celebration dedicated to recognizing the historical contributions of women from all backgrounds to society. And whereas the movement to establish Women's History Month in the United States was initiated by the National Women's History Alliance in Santa Rosa, California, whereas during this month of celebration, we honor the often overlooked roles of women have played in shaping our society while raising awareness of the struggles they have faced, including, but not limited to, gender inequality in the workforce, underrepresentation in leadership roles, restrictions on reproductive rights, lack of access to quality health care, pay disparities, and the systemic barriers faced by women of color. And whereas the theme of Women's History Month 2026, Leading Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, expands our understanding of sustainability beyond just environmental concerns and encompasses financial sustainability, community resilience, leadership succession, and intergenerational equity. And whereas the City of Hayward is committed to applying an intersectional approach to gender equity within the broader context of racial equity, and the city honors community agencies that support the city's commitment through programs to improve the lives and livelihoods of Hayward's women and girls. And whereas Black Women Organize for Political Action, BOWAPA, was founded in 1968 to empower Black women in political and community leadership, and the Hayward South County chapter is dedicated to advancing equity and justice through civic engagement, advocacy and leadership development in Hayward and beyond. And whereas BOWAPA would like to honor one of the 12 founding members of the Hayward South County chapter, Freda Abbott, for her leadership, commitment, and many years of generous and dedicated service to the community. Whereas the League of Women Voters of the Eden area is an inclusive organization dedicated to political responsibility through informed and active participation. And whereas the Women in Leadership program at California State University East Bay accelerates students' skills through academia industry cooperation, offering high-impact learning, mentorship from industry leaders, and opportunities to apply their learning to social causes. And whereas the Hayward Public Library is recognizing Hayward Women's History Month with adult, teen, and children's book displays, an online reading list, a scavenger hunt in the children's section, and more. And whereas during Women's History Month, we recognize the community's own trailblazers in local government, including Alameda County District 2 Supervisor Elisa Marquez and current council members Angela Andrews and Julie Roach. Now, therefore, I, Mark Salinas, Mayor of the City of Hayward, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Women's History Month. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all women a big round of applause. Okay, let's go down to the, why don't we all go down there? And Okay, yes, go right ahead. League of Women Voters.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the Hayward City Council. On behalf of the League of Women Voters Eden area, thank you so much for that beautiful proclamation and for honoring our organization. As you know, the League of Women Voters was formed in the wake of women obtaining the franchise to vote in 1920. And since 1920, the leagues around the country, including our league here, have worked to ensure that voters are educated, that voters have access to information about their franchise and the exercise of the franchise. Nothing could be more important now than protecting the franchise, particularly of women and marginalized voters. So thank you for the honor. Your league is continuing to work, and we continue to ask the public to join us. So in April, we are having a coffee where you can come and spend an afternoon with us on April 11th at San Lorenzo Library. So thank you so much on behalf of the Eden Area League of Women Voters.
Thank you very much. The League of Women Voters do important work throughout the East Bay, so thank you very much. And then I don't know if Bawapa, if you would like to say a few words.
Good evening. As you already know, my name is Raquel Johnson, and I serve as the president of the Hayward South County chapter of Black Women Organized for Political Action. For more than 57 years, BWAPA has worked across California to advance civic engagement, develop Black women leaders, and advocate for communities that are often underrepresented. Here in Hayward and throughout South County, our chapter carries that legacy forward by creating opportunities for residents to engage, learn, and to take action. We've been a proud partner locally, whether through our Black August teach-in with the Alameda County Reparations Commission, or bringing community members together for conversations on issuing impacting local media across with information as well, with also organizations such as the League of Women Voters. These moments are about more than events. They are about building awareness, strengthening community voices, and ensuring that people feel empowered to participate in the decisions that shape their lives. Our mission is, our members are not only engaged, they are leaders serving across school boards, commissions, Councilmember Andrews, helping to shape policy and represent community at every level. We are grateful for this recognition and remain committed to continuing this work, strengthening civic participation, and uplifting the voices of Black women here in Hayward and beyond. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. To City Council, my name is Carolyn Abbott. I thank you sincerely for honoring my mother-in-law, Alfreda Abbott. She was a founding member of Black Women Organized for Political Action. And that group, that organization was really founded to get women of color elected to office, that really, women in general, but specifically women of color. So those trailblazers are really led the way for a lot of the ladies we see here. So thank you again on behalf of myself, Brian Abbott and Ross Abbott. We appreciate this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Director Adelman.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Thank you so much for this proclamation. I'm really proud of our library and all of our staff, everything they do, but I'm also equally proud of everything that happens in this city. We are a very diverse and inclusive city. Sitting right here on the dais, we have 2 City Council members, we have a city manager, we have so many in our executive team, but throughout the city, we have so many strong, dedicated, and hardworking women who really work every day to make Hayward a better place.
And so I accept this on behalf of the library and also all of the women who work for the city of Hayward. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and congratulations again, and thank you for really, both BWAPA and the League of Women Voters. I think the two biggest contributions both of you made. One is voter education, election education, and democracy education. And of course, BWAPA. I would be remiss if I did not bring up. I will never forget. When I don't know how long BWAPA had been established at the time, but Ms. Lillian Litzy invited me to a BWAPA meeting, and it was one of my very first, if not, it might have been the first, but it was one of my very first endorsement meetings where, it was the meeting was very very polite. People were very respectful. And not to say I also got the support of BWAPA. But anyways, but thank you very much, and God bless your mother. Yeah. Okay. Our next item is public comment, and this is reserved for anybody in the public that would like to make a public comment on something that is not on the agenda. And I do have some cards here, and our first speaker is Tom Ferreira.
Hi, good evening, City Council, Mayor. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I'm here on behalf of SEIU, UHW, the healthcare union of our union. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm the executive board member of SEIU and also the Futuro ambassador of SEIU. And Futuro, just to explain what Futuro is, it's a healthcare college education program that Kaiser gave us about 6 years ago, gave us $134 million to start it up. We're going to be short 500,000 healthcare workers in the next 10 years. So basically, Kaiser said, you guys train them, get them trained, bring them back to us, we'll hire them. So we've been doing that for the last 6 years. We've got 10,000 folks inside healthcare jobs. At Kaiser, at our facilities at Kaiser, and also Sutter Health and Dignity Healthcare out in the Valley. This program is very unique where everything is paid for. You don't have to pay for anything. These jobs that are on the list, these are from $32 an hour up to $43 an hour. No education required. We train you, it's 85% of the training's online. The other 15% is your externship in the hospital. We take care of the licenses, the state licenses are paid for. We have a coach that's assigned with you every week and checks in with you every week, how you're doing, what you need. And then at your graduation, we help you out with the resume and get you connected with Kaiser, Sutter, or Dignity Healthcare. So it's a really great program. I've shared this with Chabot. I shared this with other programs, and I just wanted to share this to the public if anybody's interested. My number is right there. If anybody would like to call me or you want to sign up for the program, you could do that using those specifics there. Happy to answer any questions anybody has. I appreciate your time for this, and it's a great program, and I hope everybody continues to join, and we'll get up to 15,000 people. So thank you so much. Thanks for your time. One last thing, I want to, part of the Women's Day that we're celebrating, Hill and Valley Club, 115 years in Hayward. I want to appreciate that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ishmael Caro.
Good evening, honorable council members. I gotta start with this comment. Very impressive. This is my first time coming in to speak in public. But I was not coming to this, but when I saw these comments or this exercise of the First Amendment of my neighbors here, I'm a resident of Hayward by B, and on that neighborhood where this school is gonna be closed, or attempted to be closed. So I want to participate in making these comments that please hear their voices. You are the people who run the house. You are the people who make vote and say, yes, keep it open. So this Fate Ringgold School is about to be closed. It's been put on the agenda. And me being an educator, a school man since I was 12 years of age, I was an instructor when I was 14 years of age in Mexico, of course, teaching in my community how to write their names, and they didn't know how to write. And then I became a teacher. I went to high levels of education, prep school, high school, elementary schools, and I got teaching credentials. I am a former inspector here from the city, but for multi reasons, I just have to leave. I'll have to be gone. That'll be another subject that I'll bring up later. But what I want to say, this school wants to be closed. Please, education is very important, especially for this school. This school, it's elementary school, but there is special needs students and special community, I will say. Again, it's my neighborhood. And like I said, you all know education is very important, and I'm here to my age with many certifications on the building industry. As a teacher, I was an instructor in Corinthian colleges for 9 years. I was training on the trade school, teaching code, and they had to close. They had to close the school too for other reasons. So I want to participate in making these comments. Education is very important. Please keep this school open if you can. I know it has to do with budgets, with interests of the people who run the school, whatever. But please vote to keep it open. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Araceli Orozco.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I've been here, but my name is Araceli Orozco, and I've been a parent and a student advocate for more than 30 years here in the city of Hayward. I know that there's the city of Hayward doesn't have any jurisdiction in Hayward's school district, but the decisions that they make also affects us residents and taxpayers. Well, the latest thing that HUSD has done, they have broken the law. There's a state law, AB 1912, that I don't know if you know or not, but I'll just read it briefly. It says, under ABC 1912, a school board considering a closure should develop and set a metrics for developing the equity impact analysis and make those metrics public at a regularly scheduled meeting of the governing board of the school districts so that the public can provide input regarding the metrics being used to conduct the analysis. Well, none of that was done. No analysis was done. It says, under AB 1912, these metrics must include at least all of the following. And this is from our state Attorney General Rob Bonda. So first, number one is the condition of the school facilities. the operating cost of the school and associated savings resulting from a closure, the capacity of the school to accommodate excess students, special programs, number 4, special programs available at the schools being considered for closure, and whether those programs will be provided at the same current level at the schools to which students will be diverted. And just to let you know, their plan on special kids is to take all of our special ed children from Faith Ringgold, which is over here in the north side of Hayward, and send them all the way down to the south side of Hayward, to close to Union City. So that's their plan for our special ed children. Number 5, environmental factors, including but not limited to traffic and approximately to freeway access. Balance of people, students, demographics, including race and ethnicity, students with disabilities, English learners, foster youth, and homeless youth in the schools being considered for closure, and the resulting demographic balance of students after placement in order other students in order to determine if the decision to close or consolidate will have a disappropriate impact on the particular demographics groups, which apparently it is.
Ms. Orozco?
Yes.
Your time is up.
Okay. Oh, I didn't, sorry. It's been a while, but there's 9 points. So please, I know that City Hayward can do something for our kids in our community too.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Leonardo Jimenez.
So like if you close this school, like all my effort I did is gonna like be thrown away in the trash, and like I got worried about other stuff like communities and friends will be separated, and it'll be really hard to get everything back because you just started over. And like Faith Ringgold is a place I like. I have like a good teacher that's teaching me well. And I got like a lot of good friends. And if they close it, all of that's gonna be gone. So thanks for taking your time to like hear me, and why not like you should close this school. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And then Stephanie Jimenez.
Yo les puedo hablar en español, porque no sé hablar mucho en inglés. Estoy aquí abogando por los niños de Faith Ringgold, porque nos han cerrado la escuela. No se ha tomado el tiempo para ver el plan.
Somebody's going to translate, or how is this going?
I'll tell you what, we don't have a translator tonight. We didn't know you were coming, but what we'll do though is I'll tell you what, I'll give you 6 minutes, and if you wanted to translate what she said, you can do that.
Okay. Empieza ahorita pues entonces, porque
Okay. Muchas gracias por su tiempo. Estoy aquí para abogar por los estudiantes de Faith Ringgold.
Thank you for your time. I'm here to advocate for the Faith Ringgold students.
Esta es la segunda vez que estamos en la lista para cerrar. Ya votaron para cerrarla. Solo nos dieron 3 semanas.
This is the second time that our school has been on the list. They have closed in other schools, and for this one, they only gave us a 3-week notice.
Fueron a según decirnos cómo va a ser la transición,
They apparently went to let them know how the transition's going to go.
pero al momento de preguntarles cómo va a pasar, nos dijeron que solo iban a hacer su trabajo y no a responder preguntas.
And when they asked how is that going to happen, their answer was that they were just going to there to present but not answer any questions.
Hemos preguntado qué se va a hacer con los estudiantes y no tienen plan.
They have asked what are they going to do with the students if they don't have a plan.
Hemos preguntado qué se va a hacer con el dinero recaudado del Estado para Faith Ringgold y tampoco nos han dado respuesta.
So we have asked what are they going to do with the leftover money that was collected from the state from Faith Ringgold, and we still don't have any answers.
Solo se nos ha dicho que no va a haber transporte para los estudiantes.
All that they have said is that there's not going to be any transportation for the students.
Los estudiantes se van a ir a 3 millas, algunos, otros a 5 millas y otros hasta Union City.
Some of them are going to travel 3 miles, others 5 miles, and some of them are close to Union City border.
Nos han dicho que porque somos una comunidad pequeña,
They said that because you are a small community,
pero la inscripción ha subido en estos últimos 3 años.
but the attendance has increased it's been increasing for the last 3 years.
También hemos aumentado el número de lectura y de matemáticas en los niños.
We have also increased the numbers in math and English reading.
Y eso no se han tomado en cuenta. Los niños se sienten muy desilusionados de su esfuerzo, no está siendo valorado.
And they haven't been considering all those, and so our kids feel very disappointed.
Estamos llegando al extremo de venir aquí porque ellos no nos escuchan.
So this is why one of the reasons is trying to come here, because they do not listen to us.
Hemos llevado quejas al distrito y nos dice la superintendente que nada más somos alborotadores.
So we have taken complaints to the district, and all we get is that we're just alborotadores, okay? Just like people with
Making noise.
yeah, making noise, okay. Sorry. Not a professional, but go ahead.
Se me fue la vida. Otra cosa también que cuando dieron el cierre al grado 7 y 8,
When they also decided to close 7th and 8th grade,
dijeron que nos iban a ayudar en muchas maneras y no fue cierto.
they said, they promised that they were going to help us in a lot of ways, and it was all a lie.
Ahora tenemos la preocupación de que esta vez suceda lo mismo.
Now we are also are worrying that it will happen again.
Yo personalmente he marcado a las otras escuelas y no tenía ni idea de que Ferringo se va a cerrar.
I personally call the other schools where the other schools had no idea that Faith Ringo was going to close.
Por eso venimos a abogarles, a que nos ayuden, a que sea nuestra voz ante ellos.
So that's why we're here to beg and to ask to be our voice to them.
Pídanles que les den el plan, que digan qué van a hacer con Ferringo. Si la van a cerrar, bien, pero que nos den a dónde van a ir y cómo va a ser.
Ask them at least for the plan. Ask them how is the plan and how is, I'm sorry, ¿cómo les va a ir?
¿Cómo va a ser la transición?
And how is the transition going to be?
Porque no es justo que nos digan que la van a cerrar y no saben ni qué es lo que van a hacer con nuestros hijos.
Because it's not right that they say that they're going to close it and they don't have a clue what they're going to do with our kids.
Porque hay niños que son de kindergarten, van a ir a Helen Turner, y otros son de elementary y se van a ir a Fairview o a East Avenue. Tienen que pasar el loop de Jackson.
So some of our kindergartens are going to be transferring to Helen Turner, and all the other grades are going to be going to different schools. So, yeah,
Gracias por escucharnos.
thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is it Gladia Palayo or Gladia? Gladia?
Mi nombre es Claudia Pelayo
My name is Claudia Pelayo,
y pertenezco a la escuela de Ferringo.
and I go to Faye Ringel.
Sé que ustedes no tienen nada que ver en esto,
I know that you don't have any jurisdiction in this,
pero estamos hoy aquí para que escuchen nuestra voz y nos puedan ayudar.
but we're here so you could listen to us and to please help us.
Sé que somos muchas madres y padres
We are a lot of parents
que tenemos la preocupación para dónde van a ir nuestros hijos.
that we worry where our kids are going to end up.
Y sé que los de Bourne no tienen hijos, solamente uno.
And I know that our board members don't even have any kids. Only one board member does.
Y no saben lo que se siente, lo que estamos sintiendo hoy nosotros.
So they have no idea of like what we are feeling to us today.
Pero sé que ustedes son padres,
But I
no los
know-
conozco,
But I don't know you, but maybe some of you are parents. I don't know you.
y pueden sentir lo que estamos sintiendo,
And I hope you could feel what we are feeling.
Y les pedimos hoy nosotros
And we ask you, all of
que
us here,
ayuden a la comunidad inmigrante, porque eso es lo
to
que
help
somos
the immigrant community, because that's what we are
en esa comunidad.
in that community.
Porque hay madres que no tienen automóvil
There's parents that don't have a vehicle,
y hay madres y padres que trabajan y dejan a sus hijos a encargo de otros padres.
and there are parents that have to work, both parents, and they leave their children with other parents.
Y sé que esa es la confianza que la comunidad nos tiene,
And that's why our community, it's grateful because that's what we do.
La directora es la primera directora que tengo para mi hija
This is the first principal that I have had for my
y es la
daughter,
mejor.
and she's the best.
Porque ella sabe el nombre de mi hija y
Because
eso importa.
she knows my daughter's name, and that really counts.
Y hay madres que necesitamos de esa escuela
And there's parents that we do need of that school,
porque podemos tener una enfermedad,
because
podemos
we could have an illness,
tener una capacidad para no poder movernos
or maybe we could have a disability.
y hay madres que nos ayudan, porque lo hablo por mí,
And there's parents that help each other, and I'm telling you because of me.
y hoy estoy aquí luchando por los derechos de nuestros hijos
And that's why I'm here right now advocating for the rights of our children,
y que nos escuchen hasta el fin del mundo.
and to listen to us and to the end of the world.
Porque aunque seamos pocos,
Even though we're not a lot right now,
pero la voz se hace fuerte,
but our voice is loud,
porque tenemos un solo propósito,
because we have the same purpose,
el bienestar de nuestros hijos.
the well-being of our kids.
Y
our
hoy les
children.
pido a ustedes
And today I'm here to ask you,
que si están en este lugar,
if you are in this position,
que nos ayuden,
please, to help us.
please, because it's difficult. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Rebecca Zaragoza.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Zaragoza, and I'm a mom of my child who attends TK at Faith Ringgold. Faith Ringgold maybe looks like a name on a list to you all, so I'm here to show a face and also to advocate for my child who has done amazing at Faith Ringgold. She's in TK, she's 5 years old, but she knows all her sight words. She's learning how to read, and she has a very bright future ahead from what I can see, you know, and how she's doing at school. Her teachers are very dedicated, and so that's been a pretty common story with a lot of parents at Faith Ringgold. And so those children are our future community here at Hayward. And so I just wanted to speak on the illegal closure of Faith Ringgold. Per the state law, AB 1219, the district had a legal obligation to get input from everyone in the community, but that didn't happen. And it was a surprise for us to learn that her school was closing. My daughter, she started crying. And we really love that school because the class sizes are a little bit smaller. She gets attention from her teachers. She's made close bonds with her peers. All of these are, you know, things that help her academically and socially in these very important years in her life. And so I'm here to speak on her behalf as her mom, and, you know, doing my best to make sure she has the best future possible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well, if she's here, she's got a bright future, let me tell you. Our next speaker is Free Laser.
Good evening, Mayor Salinas. Good to see you again, and likewise, City Council members. My name is Free Laser. I'm here tonight asking for help because after more than 9 months of continuous trying every legal and public avenue available to me, I have nowhere else to turn. I'm an elder resident and a Chabot College student and radio disc jockey there who rented a room here in Hayward for my home. I paid the rent on time and in advance, but shortly after moving in and being paid, the landlord began a pattern of terrifying and violent behavior toward me and another elder in the house. He smashed furniture and household items regularly in fits of rage. He destroyed property, including mine. He tipped a big refrigerator over onto my belongings. And the final act that forced me to flee was when he stabbed a knife into the wall next to my bedroom door and left it there as a message. I left for my safety. Since then, he has refused to return my security deposit and overpaid rent. I filed a small claims action, but it cannot proceed because he has successfully evaded sheriff's service 6 times, even though he still lives on the same property here in Hayward. In addition, he stole my U.S. mail for months, over 50 federal felonies, yelling at me that I had no right to have mail received there, even though I was a resident where I was legally paying rent. I have contacted law enforcement repeatedly, legal aid, and multiple agencies, and have done everything I know how to do, and still nothing. I stand here today not only as a victim of what I believe is elder abuse, but as someone who has already lost over 40 years of my life to wrongful imprisonment before being proven innocent 2 years ago with no compensation for it, and immediately disabled myself on my first job fresh out of prison. Since my release, I have tried to rebuild my life again with dignity, only to face this nightmare. I'm asking this council, what can be done when a resident is terrorized, financially exploited, and then blocked from justice because the system cannot serve papers? Is there any way the city of Hayward can help ensure accountability in cases like this? I'm not just asking for myself alone, I'm asking so that no one else, especially the vulnerable residents, elders, and such, has to endure this kind of abuse without recourse whatsoever. Please, if anyone who can hear me here can help or guide me or intervene in any way, I am asking for that help tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Elizabeth, is it Zapata?
Good evening, Mayor Salinas and members of the council. I'm Elizabeth Zapata. I was a grad student here at Cal State East Bay. I have since taught at Cal State East Bay and then lived here in Hayward while I drove down to Cupertino teaching statistics. And that's impressive. Come on. So I want to talk about the downtown one-way streets. I was here before they existed, and I feel like the one-way streets need to be reversed. We need to have two-way streets in the downtown area just because the businesses, it's becoming a wasteland, and it really needs, I just think two-way streets would help. Addressing somehow the loop, I think the fact that you can get off the freeway, zoom down, and then zoom onto the other freeway. I did that when I was a student down in Fremont. I didn't even know there was a town there. I thought it was just a pass-through with a jack-in-the-box. So we can do better than that. We aren't just a pass-through. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is the distinguished scholar from Cal State East Bay, Professor Sherman Lewis.
Can you put this up on the, there we go. I'm Sherman Lewis. I've been around a while, been concerned, as you know, about the loop. And few weeks ago, I had this idea of a way to make some kind of traffic circle work at Foothill Mission Jackson. Basically, it would be a traffic circle at grade. But the wrinkle would be to dig down the center and have descending sidewalks that come underneath the traffic and then can go in any direction to exit other pedestrian sidewalks going up, back to level. There's no conflict between pedestrians and bicyclists with vehicles, and the pedestrians can go out any direction that they wish for a lot of flexibility. I have presented this to Byron Tang, your traffic planner. He hopefully will take it into consideration. I had my son Sherman, a friend of his, make this 3DB model, which I will give to the clerk to pass around up there for those who want to get a closer look. But I would like the clerk to get it back to the traffic planner, Tang, when you're done with it. The inaccuracy is the down ramps, which are supposed to be alongside the roads, not off a distance, to be more practical. I have reviewed the questionnaire that is going to be distributed. I felt it needs some review. I had a belief that the idea of, you better show me my time now. I had the idea that if you're going to get 2 lanes of Jackson coming up ordinarily to Foothill, and you try to put them onto 1 lane going up what is now a sidewalk to the base of Main and East Street, plus the 2 lanes coming up Mission that may want to make that same movement that ordinarily go on Foothill, you're taking 4 lanes and condensing them down to 1 lane that comes out at the base of Mission with very difficult access over to Foothill. As much as I don't like traffic, I think that's too much strangulation. And the other issue is that if this traffic circle is studied, I think it's going to actually be, in a way, too good because of the smoothness and volume of traffic it can hold. And there are many other things that will need to be done to slow the through traffic, especially on Foothill. The questionnaire, I felt, needs work. It should be reviewed by average citizens to figure out if they like it. Have I only talked 5 seconds? This is not right. Oh, I'm counting down. Yeah, I'm done.
Professor Lewis, your time is up.
Let's go.
Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Tom Ferreira.
Hello. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I saw the Faith Ringgold crowd come, and I was just thinking what the mayor's always been saying, education city, and that's very important. It's good for all of our residents, all our young ones, thriving here in Hayward. I'm the literacy chair of Hayward Rotary for the last 3 years, and I've noticed a substantial change over the years, especially in East Ave last year, a huge facility, brand new, nice, less than 5 years old. But I was delivering 2 small boxes of books. Usually it's 5 boxes. And I was like, where's all the 3rd graders? And the teacher said, they're all moving. They're going to Tracy, they're going to Manteca, they're going elsewhere. They're not staying in here in Hayward because they can't afford to stay here. So it's just, it hurts our city. We're losing more people. I mean, just this last Thursday, the Planning Commission accepted a $3 million in lieu fee for 20 units that doesn't have to be affordable housing. Right now, we're building condos, townhomes, right and left, but these are not people that are staying in Hayward. These are 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. They're not having kids. They're shopping elsewhere. They're not shopping Hayward first, as Francisco always teaches us. They're going elsewhere. They're not staying in Hayward unless, and it shows in our downtown, we have a lot of empty areas still in downtown. And so we gotta switch around from the money aspect and think about the future of the kid aspect and growing up in Hayward, shopping Hayward, living Hayward, Hayward first. So I just want to remind you guys of that. Me having a daughter on the spectrum, I was delivering to Faith Ringgold last week, and delivering there, the teacher was just beside herself. She got all these new students, special ed students, and all the parents were fired. It's just her. So it's just a sad situation. So let's not continuing going in a sad situation. Let's build Hayward up. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I have been tracking the Faith Ringgold issue, and I have been talking to the superintendent, and I have also been talking to the school board, some of the school board members about that. So we are certainly tracking it, and we are certainly watching process and making sure that process is followed. So that is certainly on our radar. Okay, I'd like to next close public comments, and I'd like to move on to city manager's comments.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members. I have some good news from the City of Hayward's Water Resource Recovery Facility. We are pleased to announce that the facility and staff member Mark McGrath received recognitions from the California Water Environment Association at its annual conference on February 6th. CWA is a statewide wastewater association with 17 local sections, including the San Francisco Bay section, of which Hayward is a member. And the Hayward Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility was named San Francisco Bay Section Plant of the Year for its size category. The Plant of the Year awards recognize accomplishment in regulatory compliance, innovative practices, cost effectiveness, and superior plant performance. And in addition, Mark McGrath, who serves as collection system supervisor at the facility, was named Supervisor of the Year for CWA's San Francisco Bay section. Supervisor of the Year awards recognize successful mentoring of team members, professional development, and effective communication. And Mr. McGrath was nominated by his colleagues and was selected for the award by CWA's Leadership Development Committee. So congratulations to Mr. McGrath and the entire team at the Hayward Wastewater Recovery Plant. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, let's give them a big round of applause. The wastewater treatment plant is it's out there, and sometimes we don't know it exists until we really, really need them. But they sure do exist. They do some incredible work. And so, Mr. Amiri, please tell Mr. McGrath, congratulations. And yeah, that's great. Fantastic job. Thank you, sir. Okay, our next item, I will move on to, we have a presentation today. Item number 1 is Downtown Hayward Improvement Association, DHIA, received the annual report of the DHIA activities, and this report is going to come to us by way of our Development Services Director, Sarah Bowser.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It is my pleasure to be here tonight. I am going to turn it over to the Downtown Hayward Improvement Association Executive Director, Marco Lamandri, and Assistant District Manager, Nicholas Yu. So please welcome them, and they will be giving tonight's presentation. Thank you.
Hit the button, say red means go here. There we go.
There we go. Okay, thank you. Mayor and City Council. Sarah, we're ready to go. So this is the boundary of the Downtown Hayward Improvement Association, which is a community benefit district. I was the one that formed this district in 2018, I believe. Took about 3 years to form it. It has interesting boundaries, but this is what we came up with. And we believe that this is really the heart of the city. And we've seen tremendous growth since COVID. You can see we have 11 members on our board of directors. The overall budget this year, which includes carry forward, is $806,000. We provide daily services 7 days a week to all the downtown property owners and business owners, sweeping sidewalks, pressure washing. Nick's overseeing the crew on the landscaping also. And the majority of the business district is conducted through 3 advisory committees. The 3 advisory committees are part of the management district plan that were written originally. Sidewalk operations really deals with the issues regarding curb to property line. What do people experience? Is it clean? Are sidewalks cracked or trees dead? And so our crew deals with all of this on a daily basis, again, supervised by Nick, who's our assistant district manager here. So that's more defensive. The offensive is the district identity and streetscape. How do we market and promote downtown? We've gotten a lot of media coverage. We have a PR team that puts out, recently they did celebrating the 150th anniversary of Hayward, and all the events that we do, they have a very robust social media platform, and it give us regular updates and reports at the board meetings. And the last is the land use and project review. We've been waiting to see, and Sarah keeps us informed on what's going on B in Maine, on the burnt out building that was there, and I think that's coming forward with the new mixed-use development project, Maine and Maple, and any other new opportunities. We also have an empty U.S. Bank at the corner of Maine and B, and we're looking at what's going to happen on that. So we want to make sure that we stay in tune and in touch with the new developments, because we believe that the more residents live in downtown, whether it be market rate or affordable, the better for all the businesses in downtown. I'll leave it to Nick now. He can talk a little bit about sidewalk operations. This is the biggest part of our budget. It's about $400,000 out of the $800,000 that we spend every year.
Thank you. So right now, at the beginning of 2025, we went to an in-house maintenance operations team. I'm sure you've seen them all around. They're there every day wearing the green jackets. We have 7 full-time employees now going in-house, and they're doing everything that's necessary to keep everything clean, all the sidewalks. We get individual calls from businesses all the time, just trying to make sure that we're there, making it more cleaner and safer for everyone.
And district identity, again, the issues that we've been working on more than anything is we're working with the city to figure out what's going to happen in a placemaking project, which was implemented at the Cinemark Century Theater. We all know that theaters are not the same post-COVID as they were pre-COVID, and it's hard to move forward on that. And you look at the consolidation of what's going on in Hollywood, and we're not sure what's going to happen with the movie industry. But we also supported a number of events. The Chamber of Commerce, Lucy Lopez is on our board, and she brings forward all these ideas and proposals to bring more activity into downtown. Last year, we supported the Juneteenth celebration, the Taste of Hayward. It was the first time we did Taste of Hayward, which was sold out, which was great. And Light Up the Season and the Kwanzaa celebration last year. Implementation of the downtown mural. There were 117 banners that were implemented, installed, and taken down within the district. We work with all of public relations to promote downtown through the newspaper, whether it be the Business Journal or San Francisco Chronicle or the East Bay Press, in order to promote everything that's going on in downtown Hayward. And then Instagram audience has grown to 13,000, 4,000 new followers in the last year, with a total of 1.9 million views all across the combined content. So this is our offensive, matches the defensive. So sidewalk operations deals with what it looks like, and downtown district identity has to do with attracting people to come and visit downtown Hayward. You can see the pictures from the Taste of Hayward. We were surprised that it was sold out, and there was so much activity, and so many people said, we need to do this more often. So we're trying to reach the critical mass of restaurants in downtown Hayward, and we're getting to that point. And I think you'll see some of the new ones, Nick, that have come up. Storybook and...
Yeah, we've had, in the last 6 months, about 11 new businesses that have opened, different types of businesses. Not just eateries, but that was really our focus, because some of our challenges was dealing with street closures, or dealing with competing businesses, food trucks, and these kind of things. So we wanted to make sure the reason the Taste event was so successful was highlighting the diversity and the eateries that are available, but also just making sure that it doesn't interfere with daily business for a lot of the local businesses.
Sarah, always, and I want to thank city staff. Working with Jennifer has been great. I've known Jennifer for a very long time. And Sarah's been on our board, and Daniel from Economic Development is also on our board. So we have great city representation on the board. We also look at all the parking lots, and the parking lots create opportunities not only for parking, but also for mixed-use development. And we work with the city, and we're looking at the surplus land issues that the city is putting out at this point. Jennifer gave us an update on that, and we're pretty excited to see that going forward. And then we're trying to deal with long-term property vacancies. There are some property owners that don't really care if they collect rent or not. There's nothing, we don't have a magic wand to make them suddenly realize that they should be generating revenue and filling their locations, particularly on B Street. That's much more of a long-term issue, and eventually they'll either get a tenant or ideally they'll sell the property. And we're looking at the undeveloped and underutilized parcels within the district. Again, Main and Maple was a great project that did not make it through COVID, and now we're looking at Main and B, which we think will be a tremendous project, bringing a lot more people into the area. Coming in 2026, Nick, you want to talk about some of these?
Yeah. The first one is going to be the Big Belly Decorating Contest. So we are looking into doing some vinyl wraps for highlighting some local artists and just creating a little bit more local artwork and just highlighting some of the talents that the community has. We've also been in heavy conversation with Tatiana from West Coast Makers regarding the Juneteenth Festival, the Latin Jazz Festival that's also coming soon, and also potentially some of these night markets that will also be coming probably potentially in the fall as well. The Taste of Hayward will also be returning in October planned, and with some of the new businesses that also have opened up in the last 6 months, and we'll be attempting to do that. We're going to be expanding on it as well and selling more tickets because the previous one sold out so quickly.
Is that it, Sarah? Okay. We're happy to answer any questions that the council and mayor might have regarding our efforts. And Dominic apologizes for him not being here, but he and I split up the tasks today, and he's with his 5-month-old son, as well as he had to speak at another city council meeting today. So I said, I'll fill in. I'm happy to.
Thank you. Councilmember Zermeño.
Mayor, thank you, and thank you for the report. It's impressive. So just 2 minor points. A little bit more of public art. I think that would be tremendous. Colleague Andrews, I'm sure, might even talk to you about it. But I think that it's always an attraction besides our murals, some statues or some sort like that. And then my second point is, so you mentioned the vacancy and some of these owners don't care. This is a request, can you keep talking to them? Can you somehow or other, I mean, the property right across Casa El Toro has been vacant like that. Come on, give us a break. You know, the one next to the Cookies has been vacant since 1890. I mean, you know, we need to do something. So help us out in that respect. So.
Yes, and we regularly send information to the property owners. They get the annual report. When I was forming the district in 2017 and 2018, it was the same issue. They were vacant then. So it has sometimes to do with trust, where the kids don't even care that they have this asset in the middle of a really great downtown that's surrounded by BART, the City Hall, and everything else that's going on right now. So we will try our efforts to the greatest extent possible to make these people motivated to actually enter the business world and have tenants.
All right.
Okay. And the public art is critical, and we're looking at doing something like an art walk here, but we're trying to figure out all those details because art attracts a lot of people.
And let's spend a couple of minutes thinking in your group about closing B Street to traffic, maybe in a weekend and eventually forever and ever.
Yeah, we'll look at that. We manage 8 districts all throughout the state, and we try to be as conservative as possible when it comes to street closures, only because some of the businesses get upset because their regular customers cannot park in front or park down the street from them.
They can park in the back.
They can, yeah, there's plenty on the parking lots too.
Okay. And
So, yes, and that's what we're doing, working with Lucy and the chamber to do that. And we want to make sure that we have a balance on all street closures as well as opening things and doing things that could actually be events, but they're not closing the street. They might be in some of those parking lots too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Syra.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the report. Thanks for all the work that you're doing. I always see Nick walking around the downtown, taking stock of how the different businesses are doing, what activity there is, and so I just really appreciate your attention to detail, attention to culture in Hayward. Want to give a shout out to my neighbor Israel, who's part of the Downtown Hayward's improvement cleaning team. I always see him out there too, making our city a more beautiful place. Just some thoughts or comments. I think, on the topic of vacant buildings, I share the similar frustration. I think that kind of falls into our wheelhouse. We may want to think about strengthening our definition of blight, thinking about carrots and sticks here, but we really need folks to activate properties if they have, especially if they've been vacant for a long period of time. So definitely an agreement there around that challenge and hoping we can find some kind of way to tackle that. And then I think the other, when you talk about how many lots there are for parking, I also am curious how we can be more strategic about our parking, especially as the downtown gets denser. I know property development is one approach, but I've talked with a few business owners about piloting some kind of parking payment program. And of course, we don't want to charge folks to have to come downtown, but maybe because the city has a parking garage behind the theater, it's employee parking at the top level, and maybe that one facility is paid, so that way we're able to fund, downtown traffic, downtown security or something to make the downtown safer, more inviting, while also creating more parking spaces for customers to come because employees have a designated place to park. Right. So, I'm spitballing here just because I encourage. Our staff have their hands full with the operation of the entire city, but I think your perspective is unique in that you can help bring forward ideas or proposals or pilots like this for us as a council to consider, so we can keep making our downtown more vibrant. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. I think this report's helpful for folks to understand, because I've had people say, what is DHIA? So I'm happy that it's all here, and I'm looking forward to our continued collaboration. And thank you to our members of staff that have been helping guide DHIA and representing the city well on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. We had a very good discussion about parking today at our board meeting. Jennifer was kind enough to come and give us an update. And I think you can see on the board, we believe the parking has to be managed to the extent that eventually it could be paid parking. We're not afraid of that. It started in the 1930s in the Midwest, which is not known as an area of radicalism. So parking management is critical, because I know a lot of the business owners are complaining that employees park out there all day long, or people park out there all day long. It ties up everything. People drive down the street, particularly on B Street, and they say there's nowhere to park, and they just keep going. So we want to work closely with the city. We know that in July, there'll probably be 2-hour parking, which is enforced. Nick is going to be talking to each business owner so they know what's going on. We'll be posting things on probably light poles to say, be aware of this. And then Jennifer's got some ideas too on how to make sure, because without managed parking, it's going to be a problem.
Especially as we add more housing units in that area.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's see, Councilmember Andrews hit the button 4 times. So, Councilmember Andrews.
Is it a glitch? I don't know. I wanted to acknowledge the work of Nick Yu and just really being excited about where he works and being passionate about the downtown. I've definitely seen a new energy downtown, and I know it's a lot because of his efforts. So I just wanted to give him special kudos for that. And you had a great hire with hiring him.
Thank you. And Nick grew up in downtown, so he knows it very well.
Yeah.
He knows businesses that were there 10, 15 years ago, because this is where his parents had the restaurant.
Yes, yes.
We were lucky to find Nick.
That's awesome. I wanted to talk a little bit about the council referral. We did a Foothill action plan, and it really took off in terms of helping with guiding the staff and DHIA to put more infrastructure improvements and activity downtown. And I also wanted to give kudos to Sarah Bowser for really executing on that, and as well as Paul Nguyen from Economic Development, and Alex Mary. But I wanted to also talk about just some of the activities we are seeing downtown. And I know the goal is really to drive people to come downtown, come to the restaurants, come to the businesses there. But I do feel like a lot of the events are community driven, and I wanted to see if the DHIA is starting to look at leading more events, because I know Taste of Hayward was led by property owners and as well as you, but I want to know if there's someone that you all are thinking about in terms of leading those events, because the council and community members, we put a lot of energy and time and effort to drive activity downtown, and it's a lot of work.
Yep,
So
it
we were
is.
hoping that maybe you all can start taking more of a lead in terms of either hiring an event planner or an intern, because it really, a lot of these events are, they're simple ideas, but they do help drive the population to come downtown. So I just wanted to see if there's any plans for that.
Right. Do you want to talk about your talk with Tatiana?
Yes. So yeah, as I mentioned, but we are in talks. Our association isn't an event planner
Right.
ourselves, but we do sponsor a lot of events, especially in the community. We don't get to choose what type of events there are, and we want to be sure that, we don't want to put an event that doesn't represent and help the local businesses. And so, but we have pushed for like the Kwanzaa event. We have pushed for the fights at the Osario event as well. Sometimes because maybe if we don't do a financial sponsorship, that doesn't mean we're not helping or assisting, whether it's promoting or helping, coordinate the events or the details for the event. So I think the last fight at the Osario Center brought over 1,000 people, just for that day. And they were all local, with visitors coming from Sacramento, San Jose, and afterwards, they all supported the local, the vast majority of them supported local businesses nearby in the area. So it's just making sure that we curate a lot of these community events to make sure that it's supporting the community, as opposed to outsiders or somebody else from far away coming in, making money and just leaving.
Yep.
And so that's what we want to make sure. So we are working with Tatiana quite a bit with the Latin Jazz Festival, the Juneteenth Festival, and then that's the whole goal of the night market, but trying to also listen to a lot of the local businesses to make sure it doesn't interfere with their daily business. We have about 280 businesses in the district, and 80%, or the vast majority of them, are independent owners, and a lot of them are single owners. And so one day of business or 1 week of lack of sales or interfering with business, that might actually be enough to lay off staff or close the business, or seriously affect them financially. And so we just want to make sure we're fine-tuning the events that are in the district to make sure that they benefit the community. So, but
Great. And then I also want to give kudos to Olive Public Relations. I've been seeing the downtown in news a lot more and more positive news, so I just wanted to acknowledge that as a really good consultant for you all. But I also wanted to see if they are connecting with influencers, so it can be less work on them, but the influencers have more reach. And also, we have a really engaging social media a staff person at the library, so maybe there's some partnerships there. Also partnerships with BART. They have really good social media. So just wanted to see if there was any strategy on that front.
Yeah, Bart has a rep on our board.
Okay.
And so the communication between our PR company, I will bring up the issue of influencers to them and just see if they're tapping into the local influencers. But we're in an interesting world there that social media has such a predominance at this point. In the old days when I first started this, you have to put posters up in windows and Scotch tape and all that other stuff. But that's not the world we're in. To me, the most important thing that we can possibly do is when someone says downtown Hayward, what comes into their mind? Is it, oh, well, I've been there before, it's nothing big, or, oh, there's all this new stuff that's going on. We have to create the perception. and the reality that people say downtown Hayward is where I want to go on this Friday night, Saturday night, or Tuesday night. So that's what we're trying to really build, is the image of downtown Hayward being very positive to people. That is something that I think we're moving in that direction. I think we're making great strides. But I'll take this and I'll bring it back to Dominic and in the social media group and just say, how do we outreach what we're doing so when we put out something, it goes to multiple sources? Okay. That was a good idea. Thank you.
And the last thing I'll bring up is, like you said, consistency and messaging. And I'm seeing other cities put out messaging about monthly events. And I know that's very difficult to do, but I have seen your articles in Tri-City Voice, and I think it's really helpful that you let us know what events are happening. But if we could figure out a way to do monthly events, that would be probably the most helpful, because then it gets the word out that Hayward is, doing something at least monthly. So I've seen similar strategies in San Leandro, but I'm sure you'll talk to Tatiana about that.
Yeah, I formed that district too, and
Yeah.
Dominic, that's where Dominic,
Okay.
cut his teeth on in learning how to manage, was in San Leandro. But we had another good talk with Jennifer today about Heritage Park and us working with the city on Heritage Park and seeing if that could really become a venue so we don't have to worry about street closures and things. But it's such a beautiful venue. It's right across from the library. It's tied close to BART, so it's one of the great assets in downtown too.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the presentation. I wanted to appreciate some of the work that you're doing as well, especially the lights. I love, when the lights went up on Foothill, I thought that was really inviting, sort of guiding people downtown. And then all the lights on B Street, and especially the canopy above the movie theater, that was a really nice, nice addition. And then definitely the cleaning crew, they're so visible downtown. I think that, it helps, it brings comfort, I think, to people to know that there is a crew sort of watching downtown. So, so thank you for that. I wanted to just add on to is like the parking issue, because that's obviously an issue in every downtown. You have workers come in and then they park out some of the lots all day long. Like the one lot I know on Main Street across sort of between Main and Main and C, yeah, down by that one. It's just, it's filled up by the workers and they park there all day long. I don't blame them, they need to park somewhere, but I do feel like we need to do a better effort of identifying the outskirt parking lots where staff can go, and I don't know how that works, a shuttle or something in the morning to bring people downtown, because it's hard. You can almost guarantee it that every parking spot will be taken up, and again, this is a problem everywhere. This is not just a Hayward problem, that workers need to park somewhere, but there obviously has to be an organized, concerted effort to open up some of those spots and then enforce the limits, right? Whatever it is, 2-hour limits, so that people know they got to move along, have some dinner, and move along, and then staff of all the establishments know, okay, if I want to park all day, I need to be somewhere else, which has to be identified for them, right? They need to be able to park
the parking structures are key to that. So if employees can park, we were talking about the length of parking is at 10 hours for free, for example, so an employee can take a lunch and work 8 hours a day. Then we have to make sure that they feel safe with their cars in the parking lot, parking structures. So we had this discussion just today.
Okay, great.
And so we're working closely with the city manager on this and with Sarah.
Okay. Yeah, great. I mean, you got to protect them too. They can't be walking home late at night.
And you couldn't afford to build a parking structure today at $85,000 off the space. So you already have them. We just need to activate them in a lot of ways.
Okay, great. I'm glad you're having those discussions. And then the final thing is to Councilmember Andrews' point. Yeah, I think that it's the consistency of scheduling. So I see a lot of cities do a first Friday art and wine walk, or a second Saturday, I don't know, pub crawl, just so that if everyone knows, okay, I know we can go to Hayward on the first Friday, and maybe some portion of B Street's closed down for 4 hours, and I can take the kids and they can stroll. But if it's consistent, then people can count on it. It's like hours of a restaurant, right? You know, you need to know when you show up on a certain day at 7 o'clock, the restaurant will be open. And so I do think that consistency is, will help us as well. I know that's hard to do. It's asking people to organize something, but if it became, okay, and first Friday, everyone know it's art and wine night, right? So whatever the restaurants want to do to present that art and wine night, maybe then it would become less work over time as that just became a go-to. And I think, maybe some closure on that, whatever that monthly thing is, so families knew they could stroll and the kids feel safe. And I think continuing to do some work on that, I think, would be really important.
Understood.
And whatever we can do to support that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Councilmember Bonilla.
Thank you, and thank you, Nick, and thank you for your great work as well. I was going to ask about Heritage Plaza and how we sort of tie that open space into the activation of downtown, but it sounds like you guys are exploring that. I also appreciate, the cleaning crews that are out there. I think that that's making a big difference. What about wayfinding in downtown Hayward? Like, have you guys kind of thought about, like, how that might help move people around or get people to understand the businesses that are in downtown Hayward?
Wayfinding, you mean in terms of signage?
Yeah, like signage or maps or just like anything in downtown Hayward. Because I feel like, when you go to like other cities or when you go to certain parts of other cities, you'll see like maps of that particular area that says, here are some of the restaurants or here are some of the recreation or here are some of the things to do. And I feel like in downtown, between the billiards that we have, if you go a little bit up, with the arcade that we have, with the restaurants that we have, it's like, where's that one consolidated place that you can find a map of everything that's in downtown when you're in downtown trying to explore it?
Right. We worked with that in one of our other districts and actually came up with something like an 8.5 by 11 folded, but cardstock, and then cut it in half, where someone could look at a map and like all the retail would be red and then all the services might be green, so they can just glance at it and they can see where the critical mass of restaurants or services or small businesses were. So that's a good idea. The internet at this point makes it so easy for people just to look on their phone and open it, but we can try that too. I think that we have that in our budget. We can try something that can be on every storefront on a counter. When people are there, they can just say what's going on in downtown Hayward.
Or it could even be like a digital type thing, where you have like some big old huge digital something. I mean, I don't like know how to do it exactly, but I've seen it in other cities where it's
digital
like,
billboards.
Yeah, it's like in the community where
you are here. Yeah,
exactly. You are here, and here's what's around you, and it's interactive, and it could, I think help people really explore the downtown in a much more interactive way.
I agree. It's been very customer friendly doing that. So yes, that's a great idea too.
And then,
Councilmember Bonilla, real quick, Director Bowser, did you have a comment?
I just wanted to share that we're also exploring, so there is the physical kiosk that's in front of Cookies on B Street. And so we're engaged in some conversations to see where there might be some opportunities there. It may not be as flashy as your digital billboard that you're talking about, but it might be a place or an opportunity where such a map like that could be useful. So we're engaged in conversations just to kind of figure out what does that look like? How could we utilize an existing asset that we already have in the city, in the district, that might work in that way? Like I said, it might not be as fancy as you're just talking about, but it might work as a good, interim step or solution.
No, I love that idea. And then that could even be expanded to include some of the events or other things that are happening in downtown, just beyond the sort of stationary businesses that we have.
And there are companies coming in and they're trying to propose, and they do revenue splits with cities and downtown districts, as long as they can show the informational thing in terms of the map, but then they sell advertising too. So that would be a decision for the city council to look at.
Yep.
If we have a proposal.
And then can you just briefly share what some of your plans are around the new furniture and infrastructure for downtown? I think that was on one of your slides as something that we can look forward to.
Yeah, we started that in one of our key districts about 25 years ago. Instead of having benches, having movable tables and chairs, so if it's hot, you can go in the shade, and if it's cold, you can go into the sun. We've always looked at the park at Mission and B as an opportunity. You can't develop it because it's an earthquake quick there. Also, the old City Hall, which I think is a great public space, and putting tables and chairs up there. We're trying to get, before we do that, because we know that there's certain people that will just hang out in downtown and they'll sit in those chairs all day long. So how do we manage that, and how do we monitor, how do we make sure that it's not used by, of course, anybody can sit there, but we don't want people to hang out there all day. So we do have all those plans. We just want to find out the best spot, and one of our goals is to get a lot more daytime population here. City employees walking up B Street, because that's the key place where we'll be doing the tables, chairs, and umbrellas. We would lock them up at night because they're not inexpensive, and we would work with Nick to make sure we have someone on lake crew. But that's been part of our plan for years. We just don't think downtown's ready for it at this point. If we could fill a lot of those empty holes, it would be much more conducive towards doing that.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to make a comment about one particular thing. I have a few things, but I just want to make a comment about one particular thing. Thank you for being positive about our downtown. I mean, I can't tell you how many people, when we talk about our downtown, it's, people are always complaining about it. And this conversation, clearly, you guys have, you are reframing the discussion about our downtown. filling up empty buildings and, activating the corners. And I mean, just everything you've said tonight is positive. And, so I appreciate that. Our downtown people love to hate it. And, but I'll tell you, I'm just looking in the audience right now. There are 2 people in the audience right now that are doing what a lot of people who own buildings in downtown don't do. And that is put all of their money, put all of their investment into our downtown. They are investing in our downtown. And so, when people out there, when they're talking and, and they're making their comments about downtown, one thing that we can say right here unequivocally is that we have people dedicated to this downtown.
Right.
And so, the corner of B and Foothill, I know Parwana is here. That is a critical corner. Not only at her corner, but on the other corner where you have the new coffee shop coming. Buffalo Bill's, one of the most iconic restaurants in the East Bay, if not in the Bay Area, if not in the state, was able to stand up again, even in a post-pandemic era. Right? Hire local, support local economy. It's just absolutely the event center going back, Storybook. Anyways, so I'm just the fact that you are framing this conversation tonight positively about events, and because well, one thing that we do see is every time we do an event in downtown, people turn out.
Yeah, they do.
And
And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to bring up too that things change quickly. So I did the financial district, community benefit district in the summer of 2019 with like a 3% vacancy rate in the financial district. And 4 months later, you had a 75% vacancy rate. So if you would have said financial district with 400,000 people taking BART over to San Francisco every day in late 2019, and then you go 6 months later, the concept of financial district is totally different in mid-2020 than it was at the end of 2019. So that's why the names are really important. So our whole commitment is to building the image of downtown Hayward, so when people say that, they say a lot of things are good that are happening there, and we have to go there more often. And it would encourage you to have 150,000 people that live in this city. The more they recycle their money into downtown Hayward, the more sales tax revenue that comes to the general fund. It would be great to get a hotel down here so people can actually stay down here and they could patronize all the restaurants and the businesses. Well, we're not there yet.
Do you track impact of businesses on other businesses?
You mean in case one business opens, does it? Yeah, it's not. Or
closes.
Yeah, the closures, we're seeing a lot more openings than we are closures at this point, which is great. And the old hardware stores that's on the corner, that's going to become a great mixed-use project.
Yep.
The more people living in downtown, Lincoln Landing was a great addition. It's a little bit out of downtown, but when Main and B comes on board, whatever happens with the U.S. Bank, the lot at the corner of C and Main Street, all these are huge opportunities for mixed-use residential. And I want to defer also to Councilman Syrop about the idea of making sure that it's affordable so people that work here can live here. That's key too. So we're all on the same wavelength on this to try to build, because you have great infrastructure, great assets already, but we have to make sure the world knows about all the assets here.
Yeah. The city of Hayward, we have run into, there's legal ramifications or legal restrictions around our authority to do this. But I was curious, do you have more flexibility as a board to incentivize empty buildings in downtown?
Yeah, one thing we won't do is pay people to do what they're supposed to be doing anyway, which is find tenants and get commercial brokers. So the only way we can incentivize them at this point, I think the council, Sarah, you might remember, wasn't there a vacancy
yeah, we have a vacant
passed?
property ordinance, but it's complicated and there's not as much teeth in it that I think
I guess
this
the question,
current council
let me
might
reverse the
want it to
question.
have, but I think that's kind of what Councilmember Seibert was alluding to.
Yeah,
that
we
maybe there's
endorsed
some
that when that
opportunities
came
for
up.
improvement.
We thought that was a great idea, because why should everybody else pay for the maintenance of downtown, and these people are just sitting on these empty properties, which are some great architecturally designed buildings.
So let me reframe the question. I might have asked the question incorrectly. Do you have more leverage as a nonprofit, independent agency or entity to charge more fees for a building that's empty of a business owner?
No.
No? Okay.
That's the city council's decision,
Yeah.
not ours.
Okay.
We
yeah,
can tell you
we're-
which one's
because we're
empty, but
restricted. Yeah,
it's
all right.
up to you guys, so.
Yeah, all right. And, you know, the main part I just wanted to highlight was, you know, the level of positivity, I mean, the work that you guys are doing the work that you guys are doing, investing in the downtown. You know, I still, I spoke with the last city manager about this. It's still a vision of mine. We'll get it someday, but, you know, I do want to see a big life-size metal buffalo in the front of Buffalo Bills. So it turns into this big Instagrammable moment where, you know, have this buffalo in front of this iconic building, you know.
Well, Alejandro's on our board and he's on our executive committee too,
Yeah.
so I'll bring up the idea to him.
Yes, yes. They make them in, I've looked it up, they make them in North Dakota. I'll drive. Okay.
Well, thank you.
That's all I have. Seeing no more other questions, thank you for the great discussion. Thank you for all the work that you're doing, and for all of the business owners in downtown Hayward that are here tonight. Thank you very much for stepping up and continuously investing in
pleasure.
our downtown.
And I want to thank you for having the staff work so closely with us. We work closely again with Jennifer, Sarah, Daniel, and PD. So we're all tied in together because we see this downtown as something we all have to work on and improve. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our next item, which is our consent calendar, items 2 through 7. I have not, nobody's asked me to pull any item, and so I will look at my screen. You got to hit the button, Councilmember Bonilla. Let me see if, moved by Councilmember Bonilla, seconded by Councilmember Syrup. And if there are no, well, I guess we have to go to, yes, go ahead and take the roll.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And it's just for the record, no public comment on those items, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And the item unanimously passes. Okay, thank you. Next item is it's a work session, fiscal year 2026, quarter 1 and quarter 2, semi-annual capital improvement program progress report. And this is going to be delivered to us by our public works director, Alex Amiri. Mr. Amiri.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members. You may recall that this item has usually been an informational item that comes before you. Council asked us a few years ago to start reporting on the progress of the capital improvement program projects to you, and we've been doing that on a semi-annual basis. There is a report, staff report with over 100 projects that we are reporting on. It is attached to the staff report. And there are 12 projects that were completed last year, and we are reporting on those too. The reason that this is a work session tonight is that we have made an improvement to the reporting process so that council receives timely report, and that any time that you want to see the report, you can do that. The person behind the operation has been my management analyst, Marissa Mata, who is online, and she has a very short report that she wants to share with you. Marissa, are you there?
Yes, and I'm joining you virtually, just making sure that you can hear me and see my screen share.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, good evening, City Council. Tonight I will be presenting the new online dashboard for our semi-annual CIP progress report for your review, questions, and comments. To provide some brief context that Alex briefly mentioned, in fiscal year 2024, Council asked staff to provide consistent status updates of CIP project progress. Since then, Public Works and Utilities staff have been providing a semi-annual staff report with these CIP project updates. Moving forward, we will still provide a static copy of the report via the staff report process, but starting with this report for the fiscal year 26 Q1 and Q2 semi-annual period, we have also transitioned the report to an online dashboard so that City Council and members of the public can have quick access and increased visibility to these updates. So to locate the dashboard, I will first direct you to our CIP homepage, which can be found at hayward-ca.gov/CIP. Scrolling down on this CIP homepage, the public will see several blue buttons. If I click into the blue button under the CIP Progress Report section here, this will take me to the online CIP Progress Report dashboard. The public can also access this dashboard on my screen by visiting ciphayward.clearpointstrategy.com. Before I start, I do want to make a few brief notes. First, this CIP Progress Report dashboard will always display the most current updates available for the most recent semi-annual period. Normally, those are July through December and January through June. Second, and to reiterate, City Council will still continue to receive a semi-annual staff report with the information contained within this dashboard. And lastly, the design of the dashboard may seem familiar to you. City Manager's Office actually introduced the ClearPoint dashboard format to Council previously, and Public Works decided to customize ClearPoint's functionality in order to streamline the semi-annual CIP progress report for City Council and the public. So moving on this page, the user will see several colorful tiles which correspond to each of our CIP project categories. If I click into this light orange road and street projects tile, click into a new page that will list all of the CIP projects we are reporting on for the most recent semi-annual period for this category. On this page, I first want to direct your attention to the color-coded key for our status indicators that we have used to assign a status to each project. For example, a green status corresponds to a project that has been completed during the reporting period, and a light blue status here means a project is on track to meet its target due date. If I click on this expand to see more link here for the Route 238 Corridor Improvement Project, you will see several pieces of information. First, under the project title here, we have the project number, along with a brief description of project progress or activities completed during the time period, in this case, fiscal year 2026, quarter 1 and quarter 2, which corresponds to July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. I want to mention those dates specifically because there may have been further project progress since December 31st, 2025 that were not incorporated into this report. For example, if we look at the status of Main Street Complete Street project here, you will see a reported status of delayed due to delays from AT&T and PG&E, and a target due date of February 2026. This project has since been completed and will be reported as such in the next CIP semi-annual report. Also, starting with this report, we have also added a general fund Measure C impact section, where we have specified whether or not a CIP project has general fund or Measure C impact and detailing that impact if applicable. We have also provided a link here, if available, to the CIP project's budget page where the user can find more information specifically related to project budget. Next, if you look on the right-hand side, you will see two columns, one for % complete and the other for target due date. Next, if I press the back arrow, to get back to the dashboard landing page and click into this light green livable neighborhoods category. I will then see several subcategories I can choose to click on. For example, if I click on this traffic calming subcategory, I will be taken to the list of projects within that subcategory with all of the same data points we went over in the road and street projects category. Additionally, if I want to see updates related to another subcategory like sidewalks and wheelchair ramps, I can click into that subcategory and review those projects as well. So that concludes the very brief presentation. I am now available to answer any questions or receive City Council's feedback on the new online CIP dashboard report format.
Thank you. This is a work session item, so I'm going to open up for public comment first. I don't have any cards, and there's no one online, so I will come back to the dais, and let me refresh. And I have two speakers, Mayor Pro Tem Syra.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for this presentation. Great work on leveraging technology to make our information and our work more accessible. I'm really excited that we found a secondary use for some of the strategic road mapping software that I think it was Assistant City Manager Thomas that helped set up. So yes. I'm happy that we're stacking functions here. Seeing this, it kind of inspires me to think, okay, what if we took it one level higher and, you know, imagine one primary map where you see all the CIP projects, all the projects that are in development in terms of construction. And, you know, I think we actually have a separate map, don't we, of the different developments that are happening across Hayward,
Right.
Including strategic roadmap projects. Like if there was one map that was like a bird's eye view of everything that's happening in Hayward. I know this is a separate from what's being presented, but now that we're getting all this data structured, yeah, I guess it kind of feels like a logical next step to me. And that way, you know, anybody on staff, anybody on council can look at any part of the city and see like, oh, there's 4 different kinds of projects happening here. Some are from the CIP, some are related to development services, some are council strategic initiatives. But just the thought of being able to look at that so anybody's able to see what's happening in every corner of the city would be pretty interesting. But yeah, all this is to say that I'm inspired by this, and so new ideas are coming to fruition, and I think that's a good thing. Excited about the progress that was made on Main Street. 2 quick questions, because I worry when I hear something's 100% complete, but then I walk by and there's crosswalk buttons that aren't activated, or there are pedestrian flashing lights that aren't activated yet. And so my concern is us calling something complete when that's not quite done yet. And you know, for all intents and purposes, it's like 99.9% done. It's about getting 2 light bulbs going and a button activating. But now when you press it, sometimes it says state password instead of like wait, you know, and I guess I just was curious about a status update on that front.
So we have had some challenges with the electric subcontractor. They are a little bit behind,
Okay.
And I have to say they are not as capable
Okay.
as I want them to be, but they are making progress now.
Okay, and you're aware of it though?
Absolutely.
Okay, I
yes.
just wanted to make sure, because that was my main concern. Is if we say 100% complete and we're moving on and that's still happening,
Yes.
that's where I start to get a little bit nervous. I think other than that, those are my comments. Keep up the great work. You know, 17 projects you said? It's a lot of projects to run simultaneously, so I appreciate your leadership in the department as well and keeping all of these irons in the fire and moving forward. Yeah, keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Andrews.
When Director Amiri said absolutely, it is always absolutely. He knows everything about all the projects. I'm always very impressed. Wanted to ask you about this new system, which I just love. Wanted to know what was the duration and time it took to put this together?
Not too long.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So the previous binder, you're no longer using that. You're going to be using this dashboard now moving forward, or we're going to see the dashboard in that binder that you've created in the final, in the end of year.
Both.
We're going to continue to see both.
Correct.
Oh, okay, great.
And I just wanted to add that the duration was not that long because of the work that the Assistant City Manager had done here on the strategic roadmap. And we used the buttons, and we wanted to be consistent.
Oh, great. Yes, and I agree with Councilmember Sire. This is way more user-friendly and accessible to the public. And I know a lot of public agencies are trying to get to this level, so I'm sure they're going to be reaching out to you, including myself, reaching out to you on how you got this done. So just wanted to thank you for that. I wanted to know if there was any impacts to what we're seeing just in world events, global events, impacting any of the CIP projects, whether it's with materials, fleet management, ordering, anything you've seen there, issues?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that, because we were just receiving, today we received our bids on our pavement project, and pavement projects use a lot of oil. And we were thinking that because of the jump in price of oil, we are going to see, you know, some high prices.
Yeah.
We received 7 bids, and 6 of them are below the engineer's estimate.
Okay, great.
So not a huge impact on us, not yet.
Okay, great. And then, again, I love that you feature not just, you note when there's a Measure C fund versus a general
Correct.
fund versus an enterprise fund. So I liked how you highlight that there. Are you seeing any efficiencies of looking at more of the enterprise funds to reduce pressure off of the general fund and Measure C funds?
Absolutely. We're always looking for that and make our best effort to have a small, very small footprint on general fund or Measure C.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It is fun looking through the dashboard. I really appreciate it. I did want to ask, you know, because I clicked on the blue and I realized that's the budget. Those are the budget details for each question. Will there be, and I know this is more information than you want to put on here, but will there be further information? You know, like if it's a building or where people might want to look at what the project is.
Like, you mean like renderings or?
Like renderings, yes, renderings, or even or just a map. Maybe where is this one? You know, that kind of thing.
Of course, we can add that.
Okay, I mean, I know that's like work down the road, but
Marissa, we can add that, right?
Yes, and some of the project pages already have that.
Okay.
But for the projects that don't, we just link the fund summary. So, like for example, this project will have its own project page with the picture.
Okay, I just didn't click on one that had it. Okay, good. Good. I was looking at, I think it was at the Jackson's Triangle Median, I think it was that one. But, oh, good. Thank you. Okay, so that's sort of like an ongoing process.
So if applicable, the project will have its own budget page, but not every CIP project has its own budget page within our online CIP budget book.
Thank you. That answers my question. And then, yes, I mean, Councilmember, I just said it, but I just really appreciate you calling out the Measure C and the general fund piece of it. And to that end, I did want to ask, you know, as we move forward, I mean, what is your biggest pain point right now? And like, have you had to curtail some of these projects because of this? And what is the biggest project we might worry about in the community when people notice, oh, what happened to that? Like you've stalled it or it's not happening now because of the budget deficit?
So we are still grappling with supply chain issues.
Okay.
When we need to have a transformer, let's say, for a building or a facility at our, water facilities, we have to wait a long time, and that causes delays. But, those delays are getting slowly reduced now.
Okay. Okay, thanks. And then I also wanted to ask about, we've had some recent, very tragic traffic accidents, and has that changed the priority in how you might be addressing some of the streets around here, especially given the city manager's recent update that there'll be sort of like I don't know what we called it, like a task force or an emergency sort of response team for some of these
Absolutely,
areas.
Absolutely. We have some quick build projects that look at a half dozen or actually more intersections that are on our high injury network, and we are implementing quick build solutions to them to reduce the possibility of injuries.
Okay.
Just want to add that Alex and his Director Miri and his team we are working on doing a street safety work session at the next meeting next week, and so we'll have a lot more detail about some of those projects too.
Okay. And then the other one I wanted to add, I want to make sure this is, if it's on here, is because I've talked about it a couple times, but the trash capture project, is it on here somewhere that is that?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. I just wanted to sort of congratulate your team on this news that we found out at our sustainability committee that Hayward has now, after a 10-year time frame, has reached this 100% trash capture for our sewer system. And, thank you and congratulate you and your team for that. It's very exciting. There's another big one coming up, right? Another trash capture project still coming up.
Correct. We are working on it, and we are working with the county flood control to make sure that they are comfortable with us putting the device in their waterway.
Great. Now, I think that's amazing news, right, that Hayward is doing this and protecting our bay and sort of leading on these efforts. So thank you. Congratulations.
And all of that, by the way, is by using outside funding, not funding of the city of Hayward.
Yes, thank you. That's a huge, important point. And it's amazing what's happening out there. So I hope we do more about announcing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bonilla.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for this report, and also thank you so much for this website. It's just so easy to go through. I think it's so intuitive. And I also agree with what Councilmember, it was Syrep, what he had said related to kind of seeing this visually across the map, because it would be great to see, where these projects are happening so that the city can see they're happening all across the city and maybe not concentrated in any one area, because I do think that there's a nice sort of spread across the city related to these projects. So it would be good to see that on a map. And then even use the map as a way of kind of clicking in depending on what you want to know within that area. And then the second thing is, as it relates to the status indicators, what is that the status of? Is it like the scope, the schedule, and the budget? Is it one or all three? But I guess what goes into determining if a project is delayed or on track?
So mainly the schedule, because we have a project schedule at the very beginning when we have our pre-construction meeting with the contractor, and we want to do our best effort to stick with the schedule. So if there is a delay, we note that as a delay, we show it. We work with the contractor to expedite their work if we can. Sometimes, delays are inevitable because of outside factors, and that is the main criteria.
Perfect. And then I know that we don't want to put too much detail in here because of staff time, but I think as it relates to the activities too, because there's so much to be proud of the work that we're doing in here. I think that some of the descriptions related to the actual work we've done is a little bit vague. So maybe if we can kind of just add a little bit more detail to the actual set of progress that we've made, because like even it says, some design has been, like, what does that mean, right? Or it's like some things have been, or a few of, it's like, what does that actually mean, so we could all celebrate this progress a bit more and be proud of the great work that you and your department are leading.
Absolutely, yes, thank you.
Thank you so
We will
much.
do that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay.
My last question, sorry. If there's a year, and like if there's a project and it just has a year 2027, is it to be assumed that the completion is the end of that calendar year versus if it has a date of like November 2027?
Usually we use fiscal year, so it would be June of 2027.
Got it.
We'll specify more precisely.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Zermeño.
Thank you, Mayor. And Director Mary, excellent job. I'm very impressed with what's done here, and then also with your knowledge of all the projects, over 170. I have two probably not questions, all right? So my first probably not questions, if we were to slow down a CIP projects, would that help our general fund?
The short answer is no.
That's what
The
I
longer answer is that we have looked at projects that are either totally or mostly funded by general fund,
Okay.
and we have delayed those projects. For instance, if there is a median landscape project that is funded by general fund, we have pushed it by like 1 year in order for us to have a breather and then see if general fund is in a position to be able to spend $1 million, let's say,
Okay.
for a median improvement program.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is good news. So slowing down some projects will help our general fund.
Only those few projects that
Not-
are funded by either general fund or Measure C.
All right, okay. We don't know how many there are. I'm sorry, city manager.
I would say about less than 10% of our projects.
Okay, all right, but it's something, so that's,
You know, I could just expand too, because a lot of these projects are things that we have to do at some point, or are deferred maintenance, and,
Yes.
and so even if we slow them down, it might be a temporary benefit to us, but they may be obligations or things that we need to do longer term, so we're kind of just kicking the can down the road, so we have to be careful to delay too much some of those projects.
okay, all right.
But we are looking at temporary relief and ways we
All right.
could delay some of that
Okay.
if we can.
And I just wanted to verify, could we see the map again, or where the different projects are? I want to see the police, see, are the police there? Can you show the police? Do we have one for the police station, police center? No?
We do under municipal facilities.
Is it anywhere?
Yes.
Okay, so we're 25% completion. All right, this is good. I still have some calls from people that are telling me that we're forgetting the police center and it's not very good. You're not listening to us because everybody says public safety. And I said, it's in the works. Don't worry, it's in the works.
We just
Right.
completed our
And this is
needs
true.
assessment for the police department.
Okay, 95%. Okay, thank you. And then I have another probably not question. This is probably a nod. We used to have these really great-looking posters on the cinema on the Foothill side. Would it be a CIP project to put them back? In my mind, they were fantastic. They were great. They were big, and it told the world, this is a cinema. And then they were taken down.
I
Is
used
that-
to
could that
enjoy
be
them
one
in
of
my
your
walk
CIP
too.
projects?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they are not CIP projects, but we can look into them and see where they went.
So who do I have to call to put them back? Mary or
Nguyen.
huh? Okay, Mary Thomas, I'm gonna call you tomorrow about putting them back.
We've tried to identify where these went, and so far we've not had luck, but we'll continue to try. Thank you.
Yeah, could you imagine? I mean, they were an attraction right there. Look, there's a cinema on our left,
Yeah.
and they stop. They see that and they'll stop. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, okay, so thank you. So I will, thank you, Mr. Ameri, and thank you, Ms. Mata, right?
Yes.
Yes. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Our next item is council reports and announcements. Any council reports and announcements? I will pick on Councilmember Roach first because it is St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, which is what I wanted to say. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. It turns out there are roughly 30 to 32 million Americans who claim some sort of Irish heritage, which I think on this dice as well. George, I think Angela's, do you have a little bit? A little Paquito?
0.8.
Okay, point. So we're all, and everybody is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's everywhere, everybody, and Sláinte.
Councilmember Andrews.
I just wanted to thank HARD for being a great partner for the 150th birthday celebration. A lot of community members approached me and told me that it was nice to see the city celebrated. They also wanted to thank the Downtown Hayward Improvement Association for advertising. A lot of people let me know that it was on the news and it looked lovely. So I just wanted to thank all the community partners that came out to help us get that done. So happy birthday, Hayward.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Syra.
Thank you, Mayor. Following that trend, I just want to give a big shout out to our community partnerships manager, Zach Ibadi. We had a large production called The State of the City, which is on YouTube for folks that had missed it. The mayor did a great presentation on the state of our city. And then we had Hayward's birthday almost immediately afterwards, or it might be the other way around. Still, massive productions, and I believe Zach Abadi was at the helm of organizing both of those. So I hope you got some rest this weekend, Zach. Great work, and I'm really proud of everything he's putting on for the city.
Yes, absolutely. Those were two big events within 24 hours. Man. Okay, so next item is council referrals. There are no referrals. Ladies and gentlemen, meeting adjourned.
Record.